Kia ora and welcome to Cinema in Context, where we discuss all things film and the connections between. My name is Jeremy Downing.
I'm William Chan.
And I'm Sarah Watt.
And each month we discuss two films at Cinema in Context, one current and one retrospective, with some connection. It could be the same director, the same actor, or a similar theme. However, today on this Minisode, we are talking Oscars 2025, the Academy Awards. We've done full episodes on the Oscars in the past. We've done minisodes. And surprise, surprise, we already know that this is a mini-sode. Okay, so listeners, we are going to, just talk for about 15, 20 minutes about the categories that we're interested in. It's not going to be a deep dive. We're not going to go into every single category. We'll try and keep it relatively spoiler-free, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any other kind of disclaimers before we jump in?
I agree with you on spoiler-free, because a lot of people won't have seen all of these films yet. So this is hopefully an opportunity for us to go, hey, this is really worth seeing. This person deserves to win, but possibly will lose to so-and-so, and things like that.
Should we start with Best Picture? Should we go right into the big one?
Yeah, it's a hard one for me. I've seen all but one of the films in the
Do
best...
read them out, Sarah, because
Sure.
I'm trying to find my notes and my
So
sheet.
in no particular order, this is according to the internet, Emilia Perez, A Complete Unknown, which is the Timothy Chalamet, Bob Dylan biopic, sort of. Conclave, with the wonderful Ralph Fiennes. Nickel Boys, which is coming out here on Prime Video. It is not getting a cinema release, and yet it is considered in some quarters to be the most extraordinary, heartbreaking film. I'm Still Here is a foreign film. It's from Brazil. Now it's up for Best Foreign Film as well as Best Picture.
I think Emilia Perez as well, isn't it?
That's correct. Yeah. They both are. So I'm Still Here is a sort of a biopic as well. It's a true story of life in Rio de Janeiro in 1970s under military sort of dictatorship. The Substance, which needs no introduction. Dune Part 2, which needs no introduction. Wicked, which needs no introduction. And Nora. Now, if you're interested in Anora, we have a podcast coming out, an episode coming out, where we're comparing Anora with Pretty Woman.
Yeah, we recorded it just before this, but we'll release
right.
it after this episode.
Highly worth listening to. Scintillating discussion, if I recall
It
correctly.
was a good chat.
It was a great chat.
Yeah.
And The Brutalist, which is Brady Corbett's nearly 3-hour film about a brutalist architect from Hungary, who makes his living in 19-something or others, called, I should know, 30s, 40s, New York.
Anora won the Palme d'Or, didn't it?
It did.
Yes, it did.
Now, Anora won the Palme d'Or, but Emilia Perez's 4 actresses won joint Best Actress at Cannes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, 13 nominations for Emilia Perez. For me, I've seen half of the films on this list.
Yeah.
Emilia Perez is one of the most egregious films I've seen in a long time, and I am just so disappointed that this film is nominated for Best Picture, has 13 nominations, and is nominated for Best Director over some other directors that I think should be on that list. So,
and can we just say,
Jeremy,
Jeremy?
putting it out there.
Yeah, no, Jeremy, fair enough, dude. And can we just check that your feeling is about the film, right? And any feelings you have about the Carla Sofia Gascon controversy, that hasn't tarnished your view.
Absolutely,
right?
because
It's about the film.
That controversy came out after I saw the film.
Absolutely.
And I feel this way because I just think it's a really poor film on a lot of fronts. There are definitely some things to be appreciated about it.
Absolutely.
But as a lover of film, as a lover of musicals, as a lover of stories that address progressive topics and social justice, I feel like it fails at all 4 of those fronts.
I think you make a fair point.
So that's my Emilia Perez thoughts.
You haven't seen it, have you, William?
I have not. Jeremy got my hopes up by showing me the viral clip.
Yeah, which is wonderful, which is what got me watching it.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be
an Ed Wood.
I mean,
experience.
William, you of all
Yes.
people, you must see it, partly because you do a podcast about film, partly because you enjoy musicals, and partly because you are intellectually interested in exactly as Jeremy says, the 4 genre elements of this film, none of which it does well enough.
Okay.
And I feel for it on the transgender level. And
the Mexican representation level,
well,
this humanitarian crisis.
He says it could have been in any country, and he's not trying to represent Mexico. He's taking a story and setting it somewhere.
Yeah, but it's pretty. It's like stomping around in a space that you don't.
So Sarah, I've read a lot about it.
Yes.
I think I'm in a similar position as you were with Poor Things last year.
Uh-huh.
Where, I've read a lot of different takes on this whole situation. And I just don't think it's the movie for me.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think I will ever watch this movie because, again, it seems quite distasteful and very, very much driven by Hollywood politics from what I've read.
Fair enough.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
And I would only have thought that you'd watch it just so that you could go, yeah, nah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? To be able to say, this is the stuff that I don't like about it.
For Netflix, it just seems like, gosh, there's a lot going on here, and a lot of it is not up my alley.
Yeah.
Okay, for sake of brevity, can we say which film we would want to see win and which film we think will win?
Gosh.
I mean, oh goodness. I mean, I don't think Wicked should be on there at all. I'm not going to get into an argument about it. I just don't.
Okay. Well, I'm not arguing with you, Sarah. I think Wicked sucks. I'm sorry, Jeremy. I'm really, really sorry.
I don't think Dune Part 2 should be on there. I'm over it.
Mm-hmm. I think Dune Part 2 for me is an interesting one because it's so grand and so unlike every single one of the other nominees, right? It is a version of Hollywood filmmaking or blockbuster filmmaking that we just don't see anymore. And I know it gave me feelings.
But didn't Dune 1 do pretty well?
Yeah.
To me, it's just an extension of that. It's just a replica of that.
I mean, again, not to get too much into it, but I'm a huge fan of the Wicked film, and Dune Part 2 was my film of last year, so I am really happy to see both those movies on the list.
Yeah.
The Substance for me was one of the greatest things I saw last year, but my film I want to see win, that I would be so happy to see win, which is why I asked about the Palme d'Or, is Anora.
Yeah.
I think that would be such a fun Best Picture
so
winner.
So
but I think the Brutalist will probably take it out.
Sorry. I was going to say, I really enjoyed Conclave. It's pretty pulpy.
Superb. It is.
But like for what it is, it's like, the airport thriller elevated.
It absolutely is. It is a superb film, and if you haven't seen it, you just have to. And I've seen it twice, and loved it both times. I agree with you, but I don't think it's a Best Picture winner. I suspect, if anything, it might get a Best Adapted Screenplay because it is a blimmin' good adaptation, a thrilling adaptation of an airport novel. Well, I mean, with respect to Robert Harris, and I would love. Skipping to Best Actor, I would be very happy to see Ralph Fiennes win the Best Actor for it because he is superb. And then we come back to a complete unknown. Timothée Chalamet, I think, will and should win Best Actor personally over Adrien Brody.
Yeah, Adrien Brody will take it out.
I would rather Timothy does. I think he does more and better than Adrien, who is one of those really solid, excellent actors. But I didn't see Adrien doing anything either that I wouldn't expect from him or hadn't seen before. Whereas Timothée Chalamet, it isn't just an impersonation, it is an evocation. He sings the songs, he nails the voice, and the film is absolutely scintillating. So I would give him that, and then he doesn't need to win Best Picture.
I think Brutalist, I've got criticisms, which I won't go into here because they are spoilers and it will take a while. But I still really enjoyed it. And I think it's probably maybe the middle ground film amidst some quite controversial films. And I don't just mean Emilia Perez. I mean
I know.
A lot of the content is maybe polarizing, quite polarizing films. And so I do think that's probably going to take it out, especially after last year with Oppenheimer taking out Best Picture.
But I feel disappointed at that, you see, because I feel as though The Brutalist is not the sum of its parts, and it has some superb parts.
I agree.
And I wonder whether Brady Corbet should get Best Director for his vision rather than The Brutalist getting Best Picture.
I would appreciate
for
that.
what his vision has produced.
Do you think our buddy from Australia will win Best Supporting Actor,
Guy Pearce? I don't, because I think Kieran Culkin has it in the bag for a real pain.
Ooh, okay.
And I think that train is going to continue to roll. And I think, why not? So I loved Real Pain, and I love Kieran Culkin. And I think the tricky part about it for me is, it isn't the furthest cry either from, God bless him, Roman Roy in Succession, or Kieran Culkin himself. And the more that I see these wonderful clips on Instagram with Jesse Eisenberg doing the publicity around it, and Jesse, who was the co-star and director and writer, saying Kieran Culkin basically didn't do anything I told him. And that I'd say, hey, I want you to do it like this. And Kieran would go, I'm not doing it like that. That's film school shit. I'm just going to do it like this. And then he'd do it and be amazing. I think, that actually probably is being an incredible actor, not a good directed actor. Do you get what I mean? Not a directable actor. Because I would say he's not a directable actor.
Although, I mean, heading back on the Honora train, if Yuri Borisov wins for Best Supporting, that would be pretty sweet.
But he won't.
He won't.
It'll be a nice to be nominated
It is
thing.
so like low energy, but again, it's just such a different performance.
Wait,
there's too
are
many-
you sure?
there's
I
too
thought
many
it was
bigger
Vanya
roles.
who was nominated.
No,
oh,
no,
it's
no.
Igor who's
Yes.
nominated.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
I know, right? And again, maybe it is just a it's nice to be nom thing, but he released a video of him and his family reacting to the noms, and it was just like, oh, this is pretty
Well,
incredible.
now I hear you.
Yeah.
That would be sensational. But you know, actually, the person who I think ought to be is dear old Edward Norton for A Complete Unknown. He plays Pete Seeger, and this is not as an impersonation or evocation, because I wouldn't have a clue what Pete Seeger was like. But as a character in this film, Edward Norton is absolutely sensational.
What a strong category. And usually
It's
the
hard.
first category, right,
Yeah.
is actor in a supporting role.
Or best act or actress, they switch it each year.
Well, I mean, on that one, I do think it's Zoe Saldana's year to lose. And I think that the Emilia Perez controversy is probably going to affect, even though it's got nothing to do with her. I mean, it is because of the film, but I do think that's going to potentially affect what happens in the votes.
So you're saying that Carla Sofia Gascon is definitely not going to win Best Actress?
I can't see that.
I can't see it happening at all.
And I feel like it's Demi's time.
I do too. And as much as I think Mikey Madison, I would love it for her. She's 25. She's done an amazing job. There'll be another time, God willing. I agree. Give it to Demi.
Yeah, agreed. The Substance is, I mean, it's her movie, right?
Yeah.
Front and center.
I think, and I know you guys are going to balk at this, but I do think Ariana Grande will possibly take it. If
Oh,
I don't mind that at all.
Interesting.
I thought she was the greatest thing in Wicked.
Because I think that...
I thought she was better than Cynthia Erivo.
Well, I think
Controversial.
Cynthia, if you look at just the technicality of what she's doing is just amazing. And on rigs, singing full bore, I'm just like, that's incredible.
But Ariana
But
Grande
I think
was
she will take it.
amazing.
I think she's captured the hearts of a lot of people. And
Do you think she will get it?
I think she will get it if the publicity hurts Zoe Saldana.
Okay.
I think that because I think it's Zoe Saldana's to lose, because she is very good. Why she's nominated for Best Supporting Actor is
Well, because all four of the
ridiculous.
girls were treated, women were treated as equals.
Well, she has the most screen time in that
I
film.
know, but this is the absurdity of Cannes, right? It was her, Carla Sofia Gascon, and Selena Gomez, and that fourth character who turns up in Act 4 of Emilia Perez, as I can't even remember what her role is.
Just the fact Emilia Perez, it's promoted as four women exploring the happiness of life. Or what is the tagline? I'm like, that's not what the movie's about.
No.
Like it's not a Pedro Malvador kind of film,
No.
you know? Like
No.
it's like, what is it? Emilia Perez. I've seen it in multiple places.
So that's why they've made it.
Follows three remarkable women in Mexico,
Right.
each pursuing their own happiness.
Well, for some reason, Cannes
that's
decided
not
that all
bad.
four women were going to share the Best Actress prize. I don't think that Zoe Saldana will be damaged by all of the publicity.
Okay.
I just don't know whether
just
her role will outshine. She's up against Felicity Jones, who I think probably doesn't have a look in, even though she's extremely good. But it's one of those low-key extremely
I thought
goods,
she was
isn't it?
alright. I wasn't that impressed by her in the Bruce list.
You don't think Ariana Grande is just too bubbly and too poppy for like this category?
And too hair flicky and too over the top, kind of
yeah.
caricature.
She's good. She's definitely good.
Well, I think it's a pop kind of category. It can be. What I will say is Zoe Saldana could benefit from the negative press because people could think, oh, we want to give someone the accolades for this film.
Yeah.
And she gets, I don't know, I'm just
But
thinking
it won't
what
be
happens in the
Jacques
minds.
Audiard, the French 72-year-old who makes a film with Spanish speakers about Mexico.
I hope not. Who do you think deserves? Let's see. We've got Sean Baker for Nora, Bradley Corbett for Brutalist, James Mangold. He deserves his kind of accolades. Jacques Audiard and Coralie. How do you say Farge.
Now,
that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I don't. Well, that will be interesting, and it depends. You see, if the Oscars is going to get down with its DEI, its diversity,
Not anymore.
equity, and inclusivity. Well, he hasn't managed to get rid of their DEI, has he?
Yet.
So maybe they will go for French woman, but
Again, The Substance. It's a big movie. I don't think it was that well directed.
Yeah.
Did she write it as well?
I think so. Yeah, but I think you're right.
I think she co-wrote it.
I think I do like the idea of Bradley Corbett.
Brady Corbett.
Brady, sorry.
Brady.
Brady
I think it will be Brady, and I think it should be because he has done a visionary director's role in terms of the scope, and in terms of the filming, and in terms of the length, and the style, and the this, and the direction of terrific
And my issues
actors.
with the film is to do with the writing.
Sure.
There are some characters underwritten, I think, that needed some more work.
Right.
But they're beautifully acted. The
I'd
actors
give it
do
to
a
him.
great job. in that
I'd
film.
give it to him.
Yeah.
And then maybe not give him Best Picture.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I don't think Sean Baker will get it, only because it's a tough category, as they say, right?
Yeah.
It's a tough category.
Yeah. There's definitely some more showier films.
Yeah.
All right. Any other categories that people want to kind of?
Yeah, let's talk about hair, makeup, and the costuming. For this, I think Wicked's got to win this stuff,
What's
right?
it up against?
I think so.
Because again, I really, really disliked Wicked. I can't emphasize that enough. But the hair, makeup,
What did you like
hair-
about it?
It was just visually, I found it really, really frustrating.
Right.
It was very smeary. It made me a little bit nauseous in places,
Right.
and the color palette was just. It was ugly. Like for something that's supposed to be vibrant and happy. And give you these feelings, it did not give me those feelings. And unfortunately,
It was intentional, though, right? He
it
did that
was
on
intentional,
purpose,
which
so-
I do not understand why. Like
He was trying to create a
make
sense
it
of realism.
Technicolor.
He wanted to move away
Yeah.
from the Technicolor to try and bring as much realism to the story.
Which I just feel like is a massive mistake. And again, it just looks to me like a color. Gosh, the colors. It's the colors.
Is it up? I don't think it's up for cinematography.
It's not.
Yeah.
But
cinematographers would agree with you.
the production design is extraordinary. I'll give it that. Like it's very, very cool. That rotating like everything.
Do you think it's going to get it over the substance? Because the substance, that's makeup. That
but
that
like,
is-
think about all the crazy hairstyles and
No, I do.
all
But
that
do you think
stuff.
it'll get it
Green
over the
screen.
I think
substance,
so.
which is not CGI?
that's not CGI either.
No,
right?
darling, I know that. But what I mean is the substance was extraordinary,
Yeah.
and it wasn't CGI. Is all I mean.
yeah.
So
But-
therefore, it's legitimately in that category.
Oh, but Wicked had so much stuff that wasn't as well. They built these giant sets, right? I think Hollywood loves that stuff.
Yeah.
And it was all good. Like it was, again, we don't see movies do this, anymore.
Yeah.
So I'd be really happy if Wicked took those. But that being said, Conclave, I also really noticed their costume design. I don't know why I'm talking about costume design so much.
Oh.
But like, gosh, that was exquisite. And for a movie that focuses so much on, how things are put together, including
Do you
the
know?
people.
I totally hear you. I think Conclave was extraordinarily beautiful for its costume, but my husband said, "But why is that up for costume design? It's the Vatican." It's like, what do they wear? They wear that. Okay, well, we'll do that. So it's not exactly designed, perhaps in
Okay.
the Wicked sense.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
that's
mean?
fair.
Can we
Say-
just
You go.
just briefly about well, it's never brief, is it really? But best international feature film. Just to say, Girl with the Needle I've not seen. Flow, many of us around the table have seen.
Apparently,
Emilia
Girl
Perez
in the Needle
again.
is very, very dark and bleak. That's what I hear.
I think it'll be a nice to be nominated for Girl with the Needle. I don't think Flow will win. Maybe it'll get Best Animation, who knows. But then you're up against Emilia Perez, which we know is out. And so for me, the two are Seed of the Sacred Fig, and I'm Still Here, both of which I've seen, both of which are set in real life situations of countries under appalling military regimes. And I think that would be a tough one. And I wonder whether I'm Still Here, which is up for Best Actress and
Best Picture.
maybe they'll just give it
I think.
Best International Feature
I
instead.
think so. Yeah. And I mean the fact that I know that a lot of Mexican audience members are really backing I'm Still Here, which is a Brazilian film, because they're so incensed with representation in Emilia Perez.
Yeah.
Is
And it
another
deserves
thing
it.
to say.
It's a terrific film.
Can I say, I'm looking at the best original score category. I've seen 4 of the 5 films. The fifth one being Conclave, I haven't seen yet. So
Tell
let
us
me
what's
know.
on the score, darling.
But none of these scores stood out to me, apart from the Brutalist theme, which is in the trailer and then it's barely in the movie. The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot.
I would go with Conclave, believe it or
Conclave,
not.
yeah.
The score is really subtle
Yeah.
and extraordinary.
But there's one of the snubs, right, is Atticus Ross and Trent Reznor for Challenges, right?
yeah.
Challenges is the ultimate snub. Nothing.
Yeah.
No.
That movie is great. I know I kind of poo-pooed it at the beginning of last year. I was like, I don't want to see a Zendaya movie again. I watched it halfway through the year, and it's really good.
I wonder if they just felt that it was a bit, I was going to say trivial, and I don't know if I mean that, or maybe I do. Just a bit popcorny thriller
Yeah.
or something. I'd like to see that again, actually. That feels like a very long time ago.
I need to watch it.
But yeah, Jeremy, Conclave,
You do?
the score.
Oh my god, you'll love it.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
I know, I love all the actors. And
Oh, and it's quite homoerotic.
Yes.
And it's quite heteroerotic
just
as well.
tennis.
Jeremy.
No, it's...
I know.
I'm not even a tennis person.
No, I know.
It's
I know I will enjoy
gripping.
it.
Okay,
I just
Jeremy, there's a scene where
Well, don't tell me,
the
don't tell me.
camera
I'll watch
is a POV from the tennis court.
Yeah, you've never
And you're
seen
just like,
anything
whoa.
like it.
Okay, alright, I'll watch it.
Yeah, Conclave, the score rules. It's just the right tone that's going for. It's very somber and Vatican, but then there is that pulp, like.
Oh, there really is. It's extremely effective. Given that
I
it
think
really
Bruce
is.
List has won in lots of other categories, like other award ceremonies, but
Yeah.
yeah. Hey Tim, we've run out of time, so any last kind of...
Yeah, best animated. I mean, we've talked about Flow already. I enjoyed Flow, and I know one of our listeners was really raving about Flow for one of our YouTube comments. So thank you very much for
yeah,
that.
that's right.
Yeah, it's. Have you guys seen Flow?
Not yet, no.
It's good. I don't think it's quite at the level of some of the others.
Yeah.
For a silent film to be so internationally recognized.
Yeah.
I was at the film fest and the director was there for Q&A. He's just this quiet, very, very down to earth guy. It's quite lovely to see Latvia be on the world stage like this.
It'll win it though, won't it? Because I mean, it's getting its colours from
International.
Yeah, like I think it's been winning. A lot of
That'd be
places.
really cool. But like Inside Out 2, we all love, I guess, and then Wild Robot I thought was really good as well. It's just a good crop this year. No duds.
In terms of Oscars ceremony, Conan O'Brien. What do we think of that?
Oh, it's good.
Oh, is he hosting?
Yeah.
Yeah, he puts on a good show.
Right.
Yeah.
So, every other year I'm like, shall I take the afternoon off and watch it? Because, of course, it falls on a miserable Monday for us here.
I think
And every other year I'm disappointed that I bothered.
Well, yeah, I like watching the ceremony, but I haven't watched it in so long because it is on a Monday, and I'm usually teaching. And
Exactly.
It's not an appropriate reason to.
Hey
not be at
guys,
school.
wanna watch the Oscars?
Well, you could if it's your media studies class. You see, you can
Yeah,
say
but
let's
it
watch
goes
this
for
in
like
real.
4 hours. Or
Well,
something.
you can start it and let them go home when the bell rings. But yes.
All right, well, we'll see what happens. I think it's a year for a lot of unknowns, to be honest.
I just really hope they spread the awards out. I don't care what the film is. I hate it when there's a clean sweep. And I don't mind Parasite getting 4. That was amazing. But I do not want a Lord of the Rings or
11.
or an
I love that.
Oppenheimer or
I
whatever
love
just getting a
Lord of
whole heap. Not interested. I just find it it's not that it's not fair and that everybody deserves something. It's that it's boring.
Yeah. Oh, also, Alien Romulus got nominated for Best Visual Effects, which
Yeah.
is really cool.
Yeah.
That movie is beautiful.
Apart from the...
Apart from when
from
it's
the
not.
robot.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, cool. Well, thank you for listening to another episode, a Minisode of Cinema in Context. If you enjoy our podcast, then please share it with your film-loving friends. You can listen to Cinema in Context on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and where all great podcasts can be found. You can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, which are great places to let us know what you think of this episode, as well as give us suggestions for future films to discuss and compare. Look out for our main episode, I guess, coming out, I want to say in a month's time, but it's probably going to be in a couple of weeks. And until then,
No more am I.